Okay, let's talk about car prices right now because we know they're still pretty high, especially with the interest rates as high as they are. And if you're in the market for a new or used vehicle, it may be out of reach.
This year's worst car? You might already own it. Sales have collapsed, lawsuits are rising, and trade-in values are dropping faster than dealerships can explain. These aren't just unpopular cars. They're resale death sentences hiding in plain sight. And if you bought one, you'll pay for it twice. Why are buyers still falling for the same traps? Which models are unsellable after just 2 years? And how many people are stuck with vehicles nobody wants? Because by the end of this video, you'll know which 10 cars to run from before it's too late. Mitsubishi Mirage. For buyers chasing the lowest sticker price on the lot, the Mitsubishi Mirage looks like an unbeatable deal. It is one of the cheapest new cars you can buy in the United States, with some models landing well below $15,000 brand new. It is compact, boasts impressive fuel economy at up to 39 miles per gallon on the highway, and is frequently advertised with heavy dealership incentives. The Mirage is powered by a tiny 1.2-liter 3-cylinder engine that makes just 78 horsepower. That number is not a typo. In a world where even budget hatchbacks easily break 100 horsepower, the Mirage is left wheezing and vibrating through intersections. Acceleration is so slow that merging onto highways becomes a calculated risk, not a routine action. Drivers report flooring the gas pedal just to keep up with city traffic, while the engine groans and shudders in protest. Vibrations through the steering wheel, pedals, and even seats are constant, especially at idle, making every red light feel like a test of patience. And then there is the transmission. Most Mirages come with a continuously variable transmission that feels more like a rubber band than a gearbox. It drones under acceleration, lurches during deceleration, and has been the subject of multiple complaints about premature wear and failure. Combine that with minimal sound insulation and road noise that rivals a delivery van, and the Mirage quickly becomes exhausting to drive. Even on short commutes, the Mirage's biggest sin, however, is not its lack of performance. It is its lack of safety. While it technically meets federal crash requirements, it performs poorly in multiple third-party crash tests. Rear passenger protection is rated especially low, with side impact scores that place it near the bottom of its class. Add in a history of airbag sensor failures, electrical glitches in crash detection systems, and door latches that have been known to malfunction, and you are left with a vehicle that could put its occupants at serious risk in an accident. Resale value is almost non-existent. Within 2 years, a Mirage can lose up to 50% of its value. By year 5, dealers will offer less than $4,000 for trade-ins. That is assuming, of course, the vehicle has not accumulated enough repair issues to be written off as a lost cause. But if Mitsubishi failed at economy, the next brand failed even harder at luxury. If this list has already made you second-guess what's in your driveway or what's sitting on that dealership lot, hit the like button. It's the easiest way to make sure more people don't fall for these financial traps disguised as cars. Jaguar FPace. From a distance, the Jaguar FPace looks like the complete package. It is sleek, athletic, and draped in design language that screams high-end prestige. It has a wide, aggressive stance, dramatic LED lighting, and a sculpted profile that makes it look fast even when parked. It is marketed as the SUV for people who want a driving experience, not just a ride. And on paper, it delivers exactly that. Turbocharged or supercharged engine options, all-wheel drive, a luxurious interior, and the promise of British performance heritage. But for the owners who actually drive one, the reality is far less polished. The Jaguar FPace, especially model years from 2016 to 2020, has developed a reputation as one of the most unreliable luxury SUVs on the American market. Problems begin early and often. The infotainment system is among the most complained about in its class, freezing mid-navigation or rebooting randomly during calls and music playback. Some drivers report the entire screen going black, leaving them without access to climate controls, media, or navigation until a full system reset is performed. Mechanical problems are no less severe. The 2-liter turbocharged engine used in many models suffers from excessive oil consumption. Owners report having to top off the oil every few weeks to prevent engine warning lights. Left unchecked, this issue has led to premature engine wear and even total failure in some cases. The automatic start-stop system malfunctions frequently in warmer climates, causing the vehicle to stall or hesitate at traffic lights. Other engine configurations have experienced fuel injector failures, water pump leaks, and malfunctioning throttle bodies, all before the vehicle even hits 70,000 miles. Repair costs are where things go from frustrating to infuriating. Jaguar parts are expensive, labor rates at certified dealerships are steep, and many issues require specialized diagnostics. A 5-year ownership window can rack up over $13,000 in repairs, not including scheduled maintenance. Worse, many problems appear shortly after warranties expire, leaving owners on the hook for premium repairs without any coverage. The F-Pace sells an image, refined, confident, and capable, but underneath that image is a vehicle built with too many shortcuts, rushed quality control, and poor long-term durability. It looks like success, but drives like stress. At least the Jaguar looks good. Our next vehicle fails even at that. Fiat 500L. On paper, the Fiat 500L seemed like a perfect answer to the growing demand for urban crossovers. It had bold Italian styling, a quirky shape that stood out in traffic, and marketing that emphasized European charm with American practicality. Fiat positioned it as a compact, family-friendly alternative to the wave of generic sport utility vehicles flooding the market in the early 2010s. It looked different, it was affordable, and it came with the allure of owning something continental. For buyers tired of cookie-cutter designs, the 500L offered something unique, but underneath that uniqueness was one of the worst modern vehicles ever sold in the United States. Fiat took the original 500, a small city hatchback that worked reasonably well in Europe, and stretched it into a compact crossover. The result was a jelly bean on stilts, a vehicle that was awkward to look at and even worse to drive. Between the years 2014 and 2017, early owners began to realize that beneath the quirky design was a tangled mess of engineering shortcuts and cost-cutting decisions that doomed the 500L from the start. The most common complaint centered around the engine and transmission pairing. The vehicle suffered frequent engine stalling, often at low speeds or when idling at intersections. In many cases, drivers reported the engine would shut off entirely, requiring multiple ignition attempts to restart. This wasn't a minor inconvenience, it was a safety hazard. The transmission was no better. Fiat equipped the 500L with a dual-clutch automatic that was supposed to offer smoother gear shifts and better fuel economy. Instead, it delivered jerky acceleration, harsh shifting, and complete failure in many cases before even hitting 60,000 miles. Safety also became a major issue. The 500L racked up several recalls tied to airbag deployment failures, fuel leaks that posed fire risks, and suspension components that wore out far too early. And while some owners held out hope that they had simply bought into an early production glitch, things did not improve over time. Interior build quality was embarrassing for a modern vehicle. Hard plastics cracked under sunlight, the touchscreen interface often froze, knobs detached, and upholstery started fraying within just a few hot summers. But if the 500L disappeared quickly, the next car stuck around just long enough to betray everyone. Nissan Altima. For years, the Nissan Altima was considered one of the safest bets in the mid-size sedan market. It was practical, fuel-efficient, and priced well below the more prestigious options like the Honda Accord or Toyota Camry. It struck a perfect balance between affordability and functionality. College students, first-time buyers, and working families gravitated toward the Altima as a dependable daily driver. That trust, however, would not last. The downfall of the Altima can be traced to one core component, the continuously variable transmission, or CVT. Nissan made the CVT a cornerstone of its drivetrain strategy throughout the 2010s, touting smoother acceleration and better fuel efficiency. But instead of reliability, owners experienced jerking, slipping, overheating, and full transmission failure, often before the vehicle reached 100,000 miles. In fact, many drivers began reporting issues as early as 30 or 40,000 miles. Replacement costs ranged anywhere from $3,500 to over $7,000, depending on the model year and dealer markup. The problems weren't limited to just the transmission. Models between 2013 and 2019 began exhibiting a troubling pattern of mechanical failure. Camshaft and crankshaft position sensors frequently failed, leading to sudden engine stalls at highway speeds. Intake manifold gasket leaks and catalytic converter breakdowns added to the list of costly, recurring issues. From a driving experience perspective, the Altima became increasingly disconnected. Steering feel degraded, handling felt vague, and the infamous CVT drone made highway cruising sound like an engine in distress. Even though fuel economy remained decent, it came at the cost of enjoyment and peace of mind. Customer loyalty suffered a serious blow as class action lawsuits mounted and Nissan extended CVT warranties in damage control efforts. Word spread quickly across online forums, review sites, and ownership surveys. By the early 2020s, used car shoppers began specifically avoiding Altimas with CVTs, and dealers started offering deep discounts just to move inventory. The Nissan Altima is a cautionary tale. It shows how one bad decision in engineering, when paired with denial and slow corporate response, can destroy a car's legacy. A sedan that once symbolized smart, accessible driving has become a red flag on four wheels. vehicles. Now let's shift from failure in motion to failure with horsepower. Dodge Durango. There is no mistaking the appeal of a high-horsepower family hauler that looks ready to rumble. With aggressive bodywork, rumbling exhaust notes, and acceleration figures that rival dedicated muscle cars, this full-size sport utility vehicle lures buyers with its promise of raw power and versatility. Enthusiasts are drawn to its bold stance, optional all-wheel drive, and the kind of 0 to 60 performance times, sometimes under 5 seconds, that seem outrageous for a 3-row utility vehicle. On paper, it is a dream come true. In the real world, it is a financial burden waiting to happen. The problems begin where the powertrain ends, specifically in the thousands of dollars it takes to keep that power on the road. Fuel economy for 8-cylinder variants often hovers around 15 miles per gallon in daily use, with numbers dropping into the low teens under aggressive driving. And while that may be expected for a performance SUV, what is less forgivable is the disturbing frequency of mechanical failure. Engine shutdowns, cracked exhaust manifolds, and failing head gaskets have all plagued model years from 2014 through 2021. Repair bills ranging from $5,000 to $7,000 are not uncommon, especially when the failures occur outside the basic warranty window. Even 6-cylinder models, which offer more modest performance and slightly better mileage, come with their own headaches. Owners report frequent water pump leaks, thermostat housing cracks, and throttle control issues that result in stalling or rough idling. Combine that with repeated software glitches in the transmission control module, and it becomes clear that durability was never this vehicle's strong suit. Despite its muscular branding, long-term reliability is often described as questionable at best and nightmarish at worst. Safety is another concern that should not be ignored. Crash test scores from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration have remained average, while key driver assistance features like adaptive cruise control, automatic emergency braking, and lane departure warning are either locked behind expensive packages or unavailable in lower trims altogether. This lack of safety tech is especially glaring when competitors are offering it standard across their lineups. Even Dodge loyalists, once fiercely devoted to the brand's performance ethos, are beginning to question whether this SUV is worth the price of keeping it alive. But if Dodge hits your wallet hard, this next vehicle aims for your patience. Buick Encore. For buyers searching for a compact crossover with premium aspirations, this model initially seemed like a safe, stylish bet. Its small footprint made it ideal for urban environments, while marketing pushed the promise of comfort, quietness, and above-average refinement. Aimed at empty nesters and professionals looking for a downsized daily driver, it drew early attention for its elevated ride height, tidy cabin, and familiar brand badge. However, it did not take long for reality to catch up. Underneath the soft curves and chrome accents lies a driving experience that is anything but polished. The 1.4-liter turbocharged engine struggles to deliver smooth power, especially during highway merges or uphill climbs. Acceleration is slow and often accompanied by a worrying hesitation in throttle response. Turbochargers on many models have failed prematurely, sometimes before 60,000 miles, leading to repair costs that can exceed $2,500. The 6-speed automatic transmission is no hero either. Hard shifts, delayed engagement, and complete failures have become all too familiar for owners of model years 2015 through 2021. Reliability, one of the cornerstones of the brand's reputation, took a massive hit with this vehicle. Recalls were frequent. Airbag sensor malfunctions, seatbelt pretensioner defects, and brake system flaws earned the Encore a long-standing relationship with the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. In addition, electrical problems plague many units. Dashboards light up with false alerts, infotainment systems freeze, and backup cameras fail without warning. Even entry-level tech feels outdated, and the glitches only add to the frustration. Interior quality, while serviceable at first glance, wears quickly. Budget plastics, low-grade upholstery, and minimal insulation contribute to cabin noise and early signs of wear. Air conditioning systems are known to lose power after only a few years, and window regulators frequently stop functioning altogether. These are not isolated issues, they are patterns repeated across thousands of ownership experiences. When it comes time to sell, the Encore's true value becomes painfully obvious. Depreciation is steep, often slicing resale value in half within just 3 years of ownership. Dealers offer conservative trade-in numbers, and private sales are increasingly difficult as word spreads online through forums and review sites. This compact crossover, once hailed as a budget luxury gateway, now sits low on used car buyer lists. And if the Encore is unreliable in the long run, the next entry is unreliable from day one. Jeep Wrangler. For decades, the Jeep Wrangler has been a symbol of rugged freedom. Its boxy frame, removable doors, and all-terrain tires scream adventure. It is the kind of vehicle that dares you to take the long way home, to ford the river, to leave the pavement behind. Generations of Americans have sworn by its capability, making it not just a mode of transportation transportation, but a lifestyle statement. Yet behind the romantic image of open trails and dust-covered hoods lies one of the most unreliable vehicles sold in the United States over the past 2 decades. The problems with the Wrangler start early and often. One of the most infamous is what owners call the death wobble. At highway speeds, especially after hitting a bump or pothole, the steering wheel can begin to violently shake, forcing the driver to slow down or stop entirely. The phenomenon has been widely reported across multiple model years and led to multiple federal investigations. In 2017 alone, the Wrangler racked up more than 1,500 consumer complaints related to the steering system. Jeep issued technical service bulletins, but owners say those fixes were temporary at best. Electrical issues compound the problem. From 2007 through 2018, Wrangler owners consistently reported battery drains, faulty sensors, flickering dashboard lights, and unpredictable shutdowns. Several model years were recalled for problems ranging from malfunctioning airbags to improperly wired harnesses. In some cases, the vehicle's computer system would throw random warning lights or fail to boot altogether. Owners report that a single diagnostic check at the dealership can cost hundreds of dollars, with no guarantee of a solution. The reliability data backs it all up. The Wrangler has consistently scored below average in long-term reliability rankings from major outlets like Consumer Reports and J.D. Power and Associates. Owners routinely trade them in early, often before the odometer hits 100,000 miles, not because they want to, but because the cost and time of keeping them running becomes too much. Speaking of icons fading fast, the next brand built its name on German engineering and then let it rot. Volkswagen Atlas. This car arrived in the United States with serious ambition. It was designed to be the all-American family sport utility vehicle from a brand best known for compact sedans and quirky hatchbacks. With 3 rows of seating, clean German styling, and a reputation for solid engineering, the Atlas seemed like a direct competitor to the Toyota Highlander, Honda Pilot, and Ford Explorer. It offered sophistication without premium pricing, at least on paper. But what promised to be a refined, well-rounded family vehicle quickly revealed itself as one of the most frustrating ownership experiences in its class. Owners of the Atlas have encountered a wide spectrum of issues, ranging from mechanical failures to chronic software instability. The most severe complaints involve engine problems, specifically the failure of connecting rod bearings in the turbocharged 4-cylinder models. When these bearings wear out prematurely, it can lead to complete engine seizure. In many reported cases, the issue surfaced before 60,000 miles. The problems do not stop at the powertrain. Brake system defects are alarmingly common. Owners have documented total brake failure due to faulty brake master cylinders. In several instances, there was no prior warning before the pedal lost pressure entirely. These safety concerns are compounded by persistent glitches in the vehicle's electrical system. Infotainment screens crash mid-navigation. Rear-view cameras display static or nothing at all. Door sensors malfunction. Key fobs stop communicating with the ignition. These are not isolated cases, they are patterns. Even routine ownership tasks become burdensome. Replacement parts for the Atlas are frequently back-ordered, leaving owners without their vehicles for weeks or even months. Some dealerships have had to park broken vehicles for 30 days or more, waiting on simple modules. Customer service, once a Volkswagen selling point, has been overwhelmed by the volume of repair requests. Ride quality, once praised, has degraded in later model years. Owners note that the Atlas has a tendency to creak, groan, and rattle after just a few thousand miles. Suspension components wear quickly under normal driving conditions. The third row, while spacious, often suffers from alignment issues and poor sound insulation. Combine all of this with rising fuel costs and the Turbo 4's tendency to underperform under load, and the Atlas begins to feel like a disappointment wrapped in chrome. And if Volkswagen built the illusion, the next brand perfected it, then priced it like gold. Audi Q5. Refined lines, signature lighting, and a badge steeped in German engineering. This compact luxury sport utility vehicle seems like an easy choice. Its promise is compelling. Sophisticated design, advanced tech, and balanced performance in a mid-sized footprint. For many buyers, it appears to offer the ideal blend of comfort, prestige, and day-to-day usability. But once ownership begins, that premium image quickly unravels. Beneath the surface lies a machine riddled with mechanical faults, digital frustrations, and maintenance costs that push the boundaries of reason. Central to the Q5's appeal is a 2-liter turbocharged fuel-stratified injection engine designed to deliver spirited acceleration without compromising efficiency. On paper, it performs beautifully. In reality, it is a ticking time bomb. Oil consumption issues dominate owner reports, with some drivers topping off oil weekly just to avoid dashboard alerts. This chronic problem leads to premature wear and eventually full engine failure in numerous cases, often outside of warranty coverage. Engine problems are only the beginning. The vehicle's positive crankcase ventilation system, which helps manage internal engine pressure and emissions, is known to fail early and often. When it does, the symptoms range from erratic idle behavior to to sluggish acceleration and sudden engine shutdowns. Repairs typically cost thousands of dollars and offer no long-term guarantee, as related systems are often affected in cascading failures. These problems are particularly rampant in model years 2017 through 2021, making used units a serious gamble. While the mechanical problems are serious, the electronic failures make daily use of the Q5 especially aggravating. Infotainment systems freeze mid-route, climate control panels shift to full heat during summer months, and rear-view cameras blink out without warning. Parking sensors frequently give false alerts, prompting drivers to brake for imaginary obstacles. These digital malfunctions are not just inconvenient, they are safety risks and expensive to fix, with replacement modules often on backorder at dealerships. Another recurring issue is water intrusion. Footwells and trunk spaces are common sites for moisture accumulation, leading to mildew, rust, and electrical damage. Drivers have reported discovering puddles beneath their carpet or electrical short circuits caused by trapped water, an issue that not only threatens comfort but compromises core vehicle systems. Considering the Q5's price point, these are failures that simply should not happen. What should provide peace of mind instead creates anxiety behind the wheel. But if Audi is disappointing, our number one car is an outright disaster. Land Rover Discovery. Few vehicles project confidence like this one. With its upright stance, luxurious finishes, and reputation for rugged elegance, it embodies the dream of premium adventure. Designed to dominate terrain from city grids to mountain passes, it invites buyers to believe they are investing in more than just a vehicle. They are buying capability wrapped in class. The marketing is flawless. The ownership experience is anything but. The signature air suspension system is where trouble often begins. Marketed as a technological marvel that adjusts ride height for terrain, comfort, and efficiency, it instead becomes a recurring failure point. Drivers report collapsed suspension corners, uneven ride height, and inoperable adjustments within just a few years. The cost to replace the system can exceed $6,000, and repeated breakdowns are common even after repairs. Service appointments are frequent, and parts availability is inconsistent across the United States. Major drivetrain components are similarly vulnerable. Transfer case seizures, drive shaft failures, and delayed transmission responses plague numerous model years, especially from 2017 to 2021. Many owners face full transmission replacement before reaching 70,000 miles. Constant axle vibration adds to the list of chronic issues that make the driving experience feel less like an indulgence and more like a gamble. For a vehicle that often sells north of $65,000, these problems are simply unacceptable. The electronic system, arguably one of the most critical aspects of a modern sport utility vehicle, is deeply flawed. Infotainment interfaces are known to freeze mid-operation. Climate control units behave erratically. Bluetooth connectivity is hit or miss. Keyless entry and digital dashboard systems fail without warning, leaving drivers locked out or stranded with blacked-out screens. For a company that markets digital innovation and convenience, the result is dismal. The cost of keeping this vehicle roadworthy after the factory warranty expires is jaw-dropping. Routine service is expensive, but the major repairs that inevitably come post-warranty can reach 5 figures annually. Air suspension rebuilds, sensor replacements, and drivetrain repairs often overlap, creating repair cycles that feel endless. This is not just an unreliable vehicle, it is a luxury time bomb. The moment that factory coverage ends, the ownership clock starts ticking toward wallet-draining disaster. Mechanical failures, software bugs, and leaking interiors are not exceptions. They are the rule. Behind the premium sheen lies one of the most expensive and frustrating vehicle experiences on the road today. Now you know the 10 cars that could quietly wreck your wallet and your sanity. So if you found this breakdown helpful, like the video, drop a comment to share your experience, and subscribe so you never get blindsided at the dealership again. We've got more exposés coming. Don't be the last to know.